sort of with the front of selling farm machinery.
And just so our viewers understand, that this is a mini series that
That's right.
Tom Hiddleston, are appearing on The Night Manager.
The Night Manager
on AMC.
On AMC.
Yeah. And the spy novel of Mr. Le Carre is very unique. It's not the Fleming style. It's not even the American style. It's got its own sort of vibe. But a lot of other writers have followed his path.
I think the thing is, he, as he's confessed, was in what he calls the circus himself.
Right.
He knows the trade. And I think all of his novels are inhabited by protagonists, by heroes who are haunted by a moral ambivalence, an awareness of the fact that sometimes you're called upon to do bad things for the greater good. And I think any citizen is interested in that dichotomy, that idea that you might, in order to serve a higher cause, you might have to do something which you're not particularly proud of.
Right. Do you like playing anti-heroes? Sort of I mean, that's always an interesting question, because there are a lot of characters that people, for example, this is the dork in me, the fanboy in me, play Loki in the Thor movies and in the Avenger movies. Clearly, I mean, most people, at least in the comic books, Loki's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Captain America, he's a good guy. Right?
Definitely.
But in this, the Night Manager, there's some ambiguity to the things that your character is doing, the things that and the reasons why he's doing them. Do you like that ambiguity in a character?
Well, I was interested in the courage it takes. Was that in order to infiltrate the crew of this very bad man, he has to do some very bad things himself to gain his trust. And I think there's always a question. There's a question in every, in the exercising of any power, there's always a question of responsibility about how that power is exercised. And I think Le Carre is always asking that in a very interesting, a very personal way.
So you are watching the state of our elections,
I am.
But also this is President Obama's final White House Correspondents' Dinner Association dinner. Are you this is your first time here?
Yeah.
Are you expecting some good jokes?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I am a visitor to your fine nation, so I'm very happy to be here. And I'm a fan of his. I think he's obviously has an extraordinary mind. Many people have strong opinions about his time in office and how effective his decisions have been. But I still think his mind was always a visionary one in a political context. And he's such a fantastic actor as well. I mean, he has this beautiful comic timing in occasions like this. And I think he'll probably unleash a bit. I think he'll...
How is he regarded in Britain?
With great respect and admiration. I remember actually the night he was elected. I was in a play at the time. We all stayed up, watched the election results come in, and it felt like a huge change in the world.
Speaking of staying up late, one not so hard question.
Okay.
When you were a young British boy, did you have such an adorable robe like the Little Prince does? Is that a British thing? Did you wear robes as a small child?
I must have had something like that, yeah. Like a sort of toweling dressing gown. I think his is probably nicer than mine. Not that mine was bad. My parents loved me very much.
But not quite as posh.
But probably wasn't as posh as that, yeah.
So I'm a huge dork, and we know that Daniel Craig is James Bond. But would you like to play James Bond? Would that be something you could see yourself doing?
The thing is, the position is not vacant. So I don't know that I can answer that question until it is.
I also think it's one of those things you don't ever get to say out loud, or it will never come true.
Maybe so.
Thank you, Tom Hiddleston. It's so great to meet you, man. I can't wait to see what Loki does next. And I'm looking forward to the night.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.